We're back after a short break to hang out with the family. I figured that come back and pick up where I left off around our we're at. So where I left off was I'm gonna try to get my bearings real quick. It's been a few hours. If I remember correctly, I added this divider right here, which in the hourly forecast view ends up being this. This looks really gross. Um, we have our summary view, we have our hourly forecast view, we have our daily forecast view. They look really ugly. They look nothing like the actual mocks. But the general layout is there, which is good. That's sort of what I wanted. I think now my goal this evening is to start to polish this up, get the padding, get the font, get the coloring, get all the spacing generally there. Um, and I think that's a good goal. Like we have the basic layout for these top three elements, um, and so we can start there. For to start, let's go with this header here. Um, Obviously, this looks very little like this, and so I want to try to make those match. So let's focus on that. Um, Actually, since I'm going to be focusing pretty hard on each one of these individually, now might be a good time to actually start to break these out into their own separate views. That'll make things a little bit cleaner within this weather view. It'll make navigating between them a little bit difficult, but uh, it'll be good for the longer term organizational structure of the project. So let's start there. I'm going to create a new file, SwiftUI view. I'm going to call this weather summary view. Let's create that. I don't like how Xcode orders this stuff, but whatever. So we've got our summary view here. I'm going to take out our VStack, put it in our summary view here, and in our weather view, I'm going to get rid of the summary view, and I'm going to make a weather summary view there. So it should look the exact same. No changes. And that's good. So now we can work on this guy in isolation. And to do that, make it a little bit easier, since I'm going to be making this text white, and it might be hard to see on this white. For our preview, I'm just going to put this in just put in a scroll view. Sure, why not? Make it a little bit more like where it's actually going to go, at least for the preview. And let's make the background blue for now. I hate that. I want it to be full width. Let's work on that. Let's work on getting that full width. Do I? I mean, if it only needs to be this big. I want to know if I can tell the view to basically expand. So in auto layout, which is the world I was coming coming from before SwiftUI and UIKit, you could add you could add constraints and you could add shoot, what was it called? Um, it was content. What was it called? I forgot. Basically, you could tell the view whether or not to go ahead and be sorry, I've got a fly in my my room. You tell you to try to be as wide as it can, or to shrink and be as narrow as its content. I forgot what the actual terms were. They had funny names. Um, and so what I'd like to do, at least here in the preview, is to go ahead and tell the scroll view to make this as wide as possible. Like I know a simple way to do that would be to wrap this in like an H stack. Oops. And then put spacers on either side. But I don't know if that's the right way to do it in SwiftUI. It just seems hacky. I don't know. We'll figure that out later, I guess. I mean, this at least gives me a decent layout to work with. Um, so let's work on the coloring first. Let's make each one of these text elements white. Which is great. This the current temperature, it needs to be much larger. This is 222 pixels. I forget what the pixel density is on the 14 Pro Max. So maybe we can just like ballpark it and compare. So let's try font dot could you say system here? And then let's try 100. Oh boy. I mean, oh shoot, that's not right. I want to make this. I want to make it the actual size. Oh Lord, that's not what I want at all. Shoot. Okay, so here it goes to about the bottom. There it goes about to the top, and then can I make you aware without? No. Okay, whatever. I mean, that's pretty close, height-wise. It needs to be much thinner. So let's say dot font weight start ultralight. Is that ultralight? Thin? Oh, hold up. Hold up. I want to make this a custom font. How do I make this custom font? Assets. Well, when in doubt, we're going to Google it. Custom font, SwiftUI. I actually just want to use a built-in font. Just like not custom custom. So let's say available fonts iOS 16. SwiftUI. Sure. This looks promising. Yeah. So let's say I want to use, is it San Francisco? It's the built-in. It's like the Apple approved. Oh my goodness. Default font, iOS 16. Yeah, San Francisco. Okay. How do I use it? Let's do, this might be better. Let's go to our summary view. And let's go to our help. Let's open up our developer docs. Font. Okay. Textile, type design, body weight together. This is what I want, I think. Yeah. System. I don't know what font design means. Now let's try it out. Say font dot system size weight design. So size. Oh, there we go. That looks nice. That actually looks pretty close. Like bang on. Right? Cool. Let's go with that. Oh, is it because it's using that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What about light? No. Ultralight? That's too thin. I think it's thin. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now, the alma spark up here, that needs to be bigger. Definitely not 100. Let's try 32. Let's get rid of the weight. That looks pretty close also. That looks pretty close. In fact, pen length. Actually, do this. I'll do. I want to add some vertical padding here. Let's do. Dot padding. And I can say edge dot top. I'm gonna do 100. Yeah, okay. So if I wanted to just mock this out, let's do right here 40. It's pretty close. 50. 60. Ooh. Yeah, I like that. I like that. about the spacing. So that looks about right. This looks like it has a little too much padding. We'll fix that. Uh, but let's get the like sky condition and the high and low done. So let's do that, that. Those need to be significantly less. More than that, right? Yeah, maybe 16. Maybe 18. That kind of feels right. These look a little bolder though. Why do these look so much thinner than the other one? Is it just because they're smaller? If I make you 32, yeah, yeah. So let's make the font weight on these larger. Do a medium. Yeah, that looks better. Medium. It looks close enough, right? There shouldn't be a space there though. Okay. There's also a faint. Can I zoom in here? It looks like there's a there's just a faint drop shadow, like all along the edge. I can't tell if it's stroked or drop. No, it's like a very faint drop shadow almost. So let's add that. Let's add just the faintest of drop shadows. So I also say dot shadow. Let's keep the default color. Let's make it a. What if I make it a radius 2? I should just give it the faintest shadow, just to help it stand out, and we can tell if that's the case. Let's see this. Yeah. So we can just barely see it there on white. So that'll give us just a little bit of contrast against the background. In the event that like if this scrolls up, let me see if I can pull this up anyway. Oh well, it's nighttime now. I was gonna show it here, like rolling up above the lens flare, but it's nighttime, and so everything looks different. Um, but it looks really cool. Like I really want to do the animation like with the star field slowly moving behind everything, the stars shimmering, like having those the shooting stars going across. Like I think that would just be really cool to do. Anyway, we'll get there. Baby steps. For now, this header looks decent. Um, I don't know why this looks a little offset. Like if I'm assuming that like this is accurate, it looks like draw. If I draw this box here, see how the edge of the degree symbol sticks out over the edge of park, but in here it doesn't do that. I don't know if that just is a difference in the spacing or what. Is there anything else? Like the Y comes right through the middle. Yeah, it looks like the font, like the text on the temperature should be a little bit more over to the right. I wonder if that has something to do with my degree symbol. Like that looks centered. Let me see if I can get a different degree symbol in the Unicode character set. Unicode degree symbol. So I'm just going to grab that, plop them there. Nah, looks the same. Looks the same. Doesn't change the padding. Yeah, we can worry about that later. Generally, this looks roughly the same. I like that. And so, how does it look in our weather view here? Yeah, much better. Okay, so I think that looks good enough for now. Well, it would be nice to add some of the spacing up here, like we had. So let's just say I want this one. Padding dot top. And what did we say it was? 50, right? 60. Let's do 60 then. Okay, cool. There. That looks pretty good. And then the bottom, it looks like it has maybe another 40 padding. 190. But again, I don't know what the padding. Can I do this? Oh my goodness, I can. That's awesome. Yeah, it looks slightly off. We'll take that later. I'm generally happy with where this is at right now, and so we'll keep it for now, and we'll keep rolling on to onto that or hourly forecast view because that's going to be a lot of fun to build. Um, so let's do that. Similar to the weather summary view, let's make the hourly forecast view its own view in its own file, and that'll keep things nice and clean. So we'll call this the hourly forecast view. And let's grab what we have so far in our mockup, and let's plop it right there in the body. Similar to what we did in the summary view, I'm just going to put the preview in a scroll view and make the background blue. And I'm going to get rid of that purple. And that'll do for now. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, so, oh, and then in the weather view, let's get rid of this. And we'll get our forecast view. Boom. But we're going to work in here. Okay, so for this forecast view, right away, the things that stick out that need to be changed are the text style. So let's say foreground color white. I'm going to go ahead and make that change to all of our text. White, white, white. This text looks smaller. Oh, we have our divider here. That divider, that's interesting. That divider goes all the way to the right. Is that really how that looks? Where's my phone? Look at that again. Oh, interesting. It is like that. Like, look. there's some padding on the divider here, but then it goes all the way to the right hand side, even if I'm scrolled all the way. But these dividers don't. Even here, those dividers don't do. Are there any other dividers that do that? It's kind of strange. Interesting. It's weird the kinds of like small details you start to pick up when you are when you're really diving into a particular design, especially if you're trying to imitate or copy that design, you start to pick up things that's strange, interesting. Um, but whatever. So let's do the font again. Do system with, let's call this, let's start 16 for now. Maybe it actually might be a little bit smaller. It might be 14. But it looks a little bit thicker in weight. So we'll say font weight medium. That looks better. I guess it looks more accurate. Yeah. And this font looks like it also has just a slightest hint of shadow. So we're going to do the same shadow with a 2-point radius. And then these look thicker than that. So if this is a medium, does it actually? Yeah, it does. Like the O here, the O here, those look different. This looks bolder. So we're going to, let's duplicate this. The font size looks roughly the same, but instead of medium, let's go bold. Yeah, yeah, that looks roughly correct. But for the temperature, this looks larger. I think it's going to be bold. I think that's going to be too bold. So for instance, if we go 24, that height looks off. Let's go 20. Yes, that looks okay. Medium, that looks more accurate. Now the spacing's off. And I think we can get around that by just adding padding, especially to just these text elements. So, like what I want is I want these text elements to hug as close to here as possible, and then add the padding above and below, not attached to the text. I want the padding between like this entire scroll view, horizontal scroll view, and the divider to be attached to the horizontal scroll view, not necessarily the text labels, but the padding in between the text labels. I want those to be attached to the text labels. And I think I'll probably just attach it to this middle one. Just give it top and bottom padding. And then we'll worry about the left and right padding afterwards. Again, for now, I'm using emojis, and we can swap out the assets later. So let's start by giving it padding on the edges. I can do this, right? Oh, I can do vertical. So vertical padding, a lot, but not off by much. 10. Not too much. 8. Still not too much. 4. It's closer. 2. It might be it. It might be it. Yeah. I really want to see the contrast here. And so, hmm, so let's work on getting that sort of frosted, glossy effect on the view. That'll help us see the divider line better. That'll help us see the spacing and everything else a little bit better. Right now this background, it's kind of bugging me. Um, so let's look up how to do that. Frosted effect SwiftUI. Excuse me. Yeah, this. This is kind of what I'm looking for. Best game viewer shows a UI kit. Visual effect view. UI kit visual for this reason. You can define a visual effect features 5 lines. The native SwiftUI way. So we have the Apple way and the native SwiftUI way. Oh, that's pretty good too. You can add that blur on anything that you need to be blurry. That's really cool. So does that mean I can add it to that whole V stack? That'd be pretty cool. Material. In iOS 15, you can use iOS predefined materials. Ultra thin material. That's even cooler. All within a rounded rect too. That's almost exactly what I want. That might be exactly what I want. Okay. So background, material, in, and then a shape. Let's try doing that to this whole VStack dot background. It's basically this, right? Yeah. So what was it? Dot ultra thin material in rounded rectangle corner size or radius. Yeah, let's do radius 16. Damn, that looks good. Not gonna lie, that looks good. Not bad. Let's give it the padding here. That's not bad. I wish I could make you thinner. Come on, preview. It's not cool. Oops. Pull you down. Okay, so let's work on the spacing here. So it looks like we need some additional spacing up here at the top. So in this VStack, padding at 10, I think we need more. Yeah. Is 20 too much? 20 looks too much. About 14. Oy. Actually, I mean, it's breaking on a different part of the word, but I think that's okay. Uh, spacing could use a little bit more. So let's do this text. It's going to get padding on the bottom of 4, 6, sure. And then the scroll view going to get padding on the... Actually, one thing I've done in the past, which has made things easier, is when I have stacked elements like this, like I've got a text label, I've got a divider, and then I've got a scroll view. I've generally liked to attach padding going from top to bottom. So if I need to space out things going down, I'll attach padding to, it'd be easier here. I'll attach bottom padding to this text to give it the spacing of the divider. And then to space out the divider with this scroll view, I'll attach bottom padding to the divider. That way, if I'm consistent with it, then if I ever need to change padding of an element, I can immediately know which element to go and change the padding of. So for instance, if all of a sudden I need to make this padding different, I know that it's the bottom padding of the text label. I don't have to go and say, oh, did I add top padding to divider? If I'm consistent in applying padding from the top down, then it makes it a lot easier to um, to find out where those changes need to be made. So I've found that helpful in the past. I might as well keep it going here with SwiftUI. Maybe a little bit more. Call it 10. Sure. Looks okay. This looks decent. The font still seems a little bit larger, but I can't tell if maybe it's just because of the background being darker. You know, something seems off. This spacing seems off too. Now that I look at it, looks a little bit better. And of course, the spacing between these elements. So let's fix that. So on this VStack, let's do padding. Dot trailing. What? It's not bad. A little bit more. 14? No. 18. So let's see. On here, they're able to fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements fully on screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not quite 7. There's 7. Yeah. Oh, I'm zoomed in here. Huh. No. Nope. 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 Let's try to match that again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That looks close enough. Again, we can always come back and make changes at the end to like really make it pixel perfect if we want. But for now, this looks good. This still looks too bold. Just looks too bold. I'm gonna fix that. Let's go back to media here. Is there font weight in between bold and medium? regular, medium, light? Is this like heaviest to lightest? No, not alphabetical order. Uh, um, okay, we're gonna Google this one. Font weights. Here we go. So between medium and bold is semi-bold or demi-bold. So let's do that. I believe there's a semi-bold. Ooh, yeah, that might be it. That might be it, boys. No, that's too bold. That looks fine. This looks too big now. Now that I'm looking at it again, that looks much better. Although now, are you being centered? Yeah. See, there's so much padding here. Yeah. Yeah. In this V stack, I want the alignment to be leading. Oh, no, leading. There we go. That looks better. Yeah, that looks much better. All right. Not the way this looks. Let's see what it looks like in the whole app. Nice. That's not bad. Let's add the padding. Um, this whole this whole view needs padding. Um, let's see if we need to apply it to the scroll view or the V stack. Let's take a quick peek at what the rest of it looks like to see. It looks like we can apply it to either. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it to the V stack within it, just in case there's something within the scroll view that we like. If this background needs to go with scroll view, then it's not gonna get the same padding. So let's do padding on the horizontal. That looks right. We still contain 7. Nice. Is there a scroll bar on here too? No, no scroll bar. Let's get rid of that scroll bar. That's distracting. Go in here. And for this scroll view, just here, we'll say um, scroll indicators, visibility, never. There we go. Never show that scroll indicator. That's good. So weather view. This is it's looking decent. Not bad. Okay. So we have summary view that looks pretty close. We've got the hourly forecast that looks pretty close. Let's work on the 10-day. This one's going to be challenging, particularly because of the little. I guess we could probably use maybe like a progress indicator with like like custom start and end points on the progress part itself, as well as changing the fill gradient depending upon like these values. That'll be interesting. I love it. Okay, so same deal. We're gonna create a new view for the 10-day forecast. Let's just call it daily forecast view. We have hourly forecast view. We've got a daily forecast view as well. And then in weather view, we're going to grab our general layout. Let's dump in a body. And in the weather view, get rid of you. And daily forecast view. Nothing should change. Beautiful. So then here, do something very similar. We're similar to the previous views. Dump it in our scroll view, and we'll give it background of blue. And what did I do for the our summary view? I put in H stack spacers in order to get that full look. So I'll do that as well here. H stack. What spacer? And a spacer. Great. Let's get rid of that obnoxious red. That is burning my eyes. It's awful. And let's get the snip for the background material. We're going to apply that to the stack. Oh, ordering that might matter here. Yeah, it does. See that? So if I put the background before the padding, it will apply that background before the padding is applied. Applying it after, it applies the background as it renders that background after the padding is applied to the view. So these modifiers, the ordering matters for some of them, which is interesting. Like, I don't know if, like, I guess it makes sense, and I guess it gives you more flexibility to be able to like apply like really custom looks to these things, which, I mean, that's great. Like, if I really wanted the padding to be applied after, then I guess I would be disappointed that didn't have that ability so easily. So yeah, just important note. Okay, now let's clean this because this looks really bad. Here we've got this little glyph. If I keep the emoji here, that's just gonna like bug me tremendously. So we're actually gonna replace that with an image first and foremost. Actually, first thing we're gonna do is add a divider. Oh, now that we have that divider in there, can I read these spacers? Oh, I can. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Sorry. That divider's going to save me a lot of headache. And in fact, if we're going to be true to the form there, Um, Sorry, I keep distracted. What's that padding on the horizontal 10? It's just the default padding. Okay, all right. Uh, this is gonna really bum me out um, compared to this. It's just very distracting. It's too many like different emojis going on at once. So we're gonna change that to an image, and we can do that with this image, and then we can use system image, which is interesting. The the system comes with a bunch of fonts. Do I have this installed? Shoot. Um, what's called? I think it's up here in the tools. Xcode. We're gonna have to look this up. Uh, System image, SwiftUI. SF symbols. That's what they're called. But it's a separate app that you download from Apple. Oh, cool. Actually, there's a reference here. Why are these not? I bet those render on Safari. Uh, so we're gonna download it. Makes it really easy to find these symbols. Sorry, I'm on the other monitor. I'm going through the installer. Oh, cool. So now back here, SF symbols. Cool. Okay, so uh, what we're giving here is like we have a ton of different like built-in symbols, glyphs, whatever you want to call them, icons that can pull in from iOS itself and use those as images without having to like grab assets from somewhere else and then import them into the project and then reference them. And so let's use that to start with. We'll see how close we can get. There might even be the symbols that they use. So we want sort of this calendar looking glyph. So let's go over here to time. Let's see if we can find something that looks like a calendar. No. Would it be under weather? Be kind of cool. No. Um, oh wait, do they have the? Are those the same? Is this what they use? Should we use these? I think that's the same. I think it is. Oh, that's awesome. I can get rid of the emojis. Oh, that's right. Okay, I'm gonna add that to the list of things to do. So, uh, I should be able to search these. So if I do like calendar, yeah, that looks really similar to the glyph. So when I want to bring this in, you grab the name, use image, you create an image, the system name, and you paste in the name of the SF symbol, and you get it right there, which is awesome. Uh, so if I want these next to each other in this VStack, I'll make a quick little. Actually, I'm going to do this, but we might be able to. There might be able to have a way to have like a text label a like with a leading image associated with it. Like, yeah, that's neat. Like, they'll kind of do, but I wonder if text has has a built-in modifier to prepend an image. Let's see. Fitting text in space. Voiceover. No. Combining text views. No. Hmm. I might not be able to. I wonder if image has one. Image. Does image have the ability to append text? No, doesn't look like. Yeah, that'd be too easy. Uh, Regardless, let's go ahead and one. Let's make this uh, um, let's make this VStack alignment leading. That this font needs to be much lower. In fact, both of them need to be lower. How does that work? Will it just automatically fill the size? Let's see. Uh, font dot system size 12. How do I change the size of this? Sizable. Um, hmm. Hello? No, sir. Don't want that. Um, mm, hmm. Image scale. I really don't want that, and I really don't want to mess with the frame itself if I don't have to. But I'll worry about that after everything else. It's a smaller concern. 10-day forecast. This looks larger, so let's do font weight, medium. Yeah, looks about right. Yeah, that's fine. Um, these need to change. So this needs to be white. This needs to be white. This needs to be white with an opacity. I don't know. Let me see. Let's see how it looks when I scroll around on like the in the actual app. So for instance, here, whoops, like it doesn't look like it's changing much. Hmm. Yeah, it might be like white with an opacity. I don't know. I don't know. Play around with it. We'll see. But first, I'm going to, and I'm going to swap this out with the glyph now that I know about it. In fact, let's do that right now. Not UI image, bad habits. System name. Let's pull back up. SF symbols, weather. So for sunny, sun Maxville, right? Sun.maxville. Sun.maxville. Awesome. Now, you might see that, oh, like it's black. It's just its its default fill to whatever the foreground color is. What's really nice about these images, these system images, is that you can style them here in code. Um, you can animate their styling as well, and so like if you want to apply a gradient, if you want that gradient to animate, if you want it to flash at different colors, you can all do that. You can do all that here with these modifiers. You don't have to get multiple copies of the asset with different different colors or gradients applied, and then animate through them. That can be done in the code. So if you foreground color yellow, now it's yellow, which is neat. It's cool. I love when you can customize like the visual aspects of things in the code itself without having to reach out for custom assets. And then I'm not a I'm not good at creating assets like that. So the more I can do in code to be able to replace that, the easier it is for me. Because I like the skills to do it in like Photoshop or whatever. Um, let's do the let's do the foreground color here. Let's do color dot white opacity 50%. Like it's 80%. I don't love that. We're gonna need to fix that. Same with you. Like we're gonna have to fix that. That's gonna bug me to no end. But and I think the divider basically gets the same treatment. The divider looks really similar. So let's do that now. Right? Did not change at all. Did none of these change? I guess these wouldn't change, but huh. Maybe dividers are styled differently. Whatever. I'll worry about it later. Today it is definitely white, so just make white. The high is definitely white, which is what this one is. We're going to style the low to be the same as this color, which is kind of what it looks like. And then the progress bar, we're going to leave that as those lines for now. The the day of the week, that looks bolder. Let's do, it's definitely not 12. 16 looks right. It looks a little bit older than that, though. I feel like bold's going to be too much. Yeah. Let's try our buddy semi-bold. That looks decent. That looks decent, honestly. Um, and then we need we need space here. We need space here. But so if I had a spacer and a spacer, it looks fine here because these are all the same. But if I say, for example, um, let's do Monday. See how it's going to be offset at the different days of the week. And so one of these, like this space needs to be variable, the space needs to be fixed. if that makes sense. So to do fixed space, we can do look at our documentation for fixed space. Minimum length. Why are there two of these? The minimum. Why? Why is it here twice? Okay. Hmm. Whatever. Um. Fixed space. SwiftUI spacer. Maybe I don't even use a spacer. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I can just give it a frame with a min height, min max height to control the spacing. Okay. So here, if I wanted to do, so for instance, let's make this spacer. I want it to have a max width. That frame max width of 50. Cool. So now this can be dynamic, and we'll test that very hackily. So for instance, now if I change this from today to Monday, it stays in line, which is great. Or if I do Monday, 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 it still stays in line. If I go longer, then it's probably going to wrap. Yeah. So that's good. So that the condition will stay the same, which is nice. So from here, we have to do this progress bar. And this will take a little bit of investigation, because I don't really know what is at our disposal from Apple to do this easily. Let's start with looking at a simple progress view. Are they still called progress views? Let's see. Progress view. Cool. So let's take a look at you. Progress versus progress view. Huh? Okay. Interesting. Progress view. That's a radial. I can make it linear, I believe, somehow. The style. Okay, I can give it a configuration. Progress view style. Linear. So let's do that. Do you take a style as initializer? Init. This takes a configuration. Progress view style configuration. Let's do this. Var progress configuration. Progress view style configuration. Like that. Oh, what? Has no accessible visualizers. Okay, well, cool. Okay. um, creating a configured parse view creates parse view on the style configuration. Interesting. Hmm. Progress view style? It's like a modifier? What? Oh, make body. Oh, okay. By creating style, this is okay. This is going to be really interesting. You can customize the appearance and interaction of progress views by creating styles that conform to the progress view style protocol. To set a specific style for all progress views instance within a view, use the progress view style modifier. The following example. Okay, so um, first of all, let's go back to progress view. Um, should be a way to say. I'm going to shortcut this real quick. Linear progress view SwiftUI. Let's just get the value total. Okay. So if in here, let's get rid of you. I don't need you now. Value. Total. Okay. So there's a simple half. But we've got two. So this is where the custom styling is going to come into play. We effectively we need to render the, I don't know what you want to call it, the track of the progress view, and then we need lower like a lower value and an upper value. They go in that track. And to make it more complex, for today, we need to show where the current temperature is in relation to that range. Okay. Let's try to, we can try to get as, let's start, this is how I want to try to approach these sorts of things. I'll try to do it here in this view, but I have a feeling this belongs in its own view to be reused more often. Honestly, like I think this entire cell belongs in its own view to be reused. Um, and we can break out a little bit later. If not in its own, like if it's only being used in the daily forecast view, I'll probably break it out as its own struct here in this file. If it looks like it's going to be used in other places, and we can look to see if that's the case. Where's my QuickTime? Here, let's see. I mean, there's another kind of progress view. There's another one. Like the fact that it's used in other places outside of this view makes me feel like it needs to be in its own view altogether. So maybe we just do that now. Honestly, it won't. It'll make it a little bit easier to reason about just in its own little component. And so we'll start there. And that might be a good place to call it, actually. I think I've been streaming for about an hour, and I'm a little tired. But in the meantime, let's call this ranged progress view. Excuse me. For right now, and you give it a range, and it will render the progress of the range within the bounds of the like the trek that you specify for the frame itself. We'll just say for now value. Yeah, I mean, that's good enough now, and we'll give it padding just for now, and we'll start there in our where's it daily. Say range progress view. So that might need to basically be its own video. What I can do is I can give this a frame max width of maybe 80. What did that look like it went to? 300 divided by 3. I'm gonna assume pixel density on this is 3. Sorry, the what is that called? Points per pixel? Scale factor? I don't know. Basically, there's 3 pixels in a point. So if there's 300 pixels here in this width, then get 100 points. That looks roughly what it is. Cool. So let's see what it looks like let's see how our weather is looking so far. Not bad, honestly. Like it's starting to take shape. It's starting to actually look like the weather app at first glance. Now a lot of the interactions aren't there. The header doesn't the content of the header doesn't flow on top of it. The header doesn't fade and transition the same way that it does in the app, but the bones are there, which is where I'd like to be right now, and that's good. And we can continue to build on top of that. But right now, this feels like a good place to stop. Next time I pick it, actually, before I do, I'm gonna swap out the hourly forecast views emoji for our image. Was this sun dot max dot fill, right? Dot foreground color yellow. There we go. this should look. There we go. Much better. Now it looks more like the weather app. Cool. That's it. I'll pick up again maybe tomorrow. We can work on the work on these progress indicators at least. I think this would be a really fun, like, smaller bite size. Like, I guess it's not going to be smaller or bite size. A deep dive into a very specific component. Um, and I might do a little bit more research on the side just to see like if this is actually something that Apple offers out of the box. But I've never seen something like that. So who knows? We'll learn something. That's it.